Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Mr. Honeya talking today about water. So today you guys have a set of notes that goes along with this video. And there's just like a little journal question about why is water important? Many of y'all have heard the saying, drink 8 glasses a day. You got to make sure that you're hydrated. You got to make sure that you drink your water. So what we're going to be talking about today is the importance of water because it is a major component of your physical wellness. Because many of you have gone through that process when y'all answered y'all's physical wellness question. Many of y'all said, drink water, drink water, drink water. Not drink soda, not drink Gatorade, not drink Powerade, not drink sweet tea. Although I could really go for some sweet tea right now. Drink water. So we're going to be talking about that today. So get your notes out and you will follow through and complete the notes, and then I'll give you guys your final assignment for today. So, water. What is special about it is that it makes up about 60% of your body weight, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depends on who you are. And the cool thing about water is that it is used in all areas of the body. And we always obviously know that water is gained through consumption. It's basically in order to have water in the body, you have to take water in. So you gain consumption of water through drinking water and then also food. So, for example, like lots of fruit, apple, watermelon. It's called a watermelon because guess what? The majority of a watermelon is made up of water. So when you eat watermelon, you are taking in water. All right. So there's ways that we get water into the. So, what exactly does water do? So, a lot of people understand that it hydrates you, which is obviously bullet number two. But we do have that water actually helps in regulating your temperature. Once again, it keeps you hydrated. It also protects your spinal cord and your joints. And as you get older, that's very important because you want to make sure that your joints are well lubricated and everything of that nature. And then finally, it also helps with the digestion of foods, pushing that process along. So water is very important in a lot of body functions. So it's important that you get enough. So how do we lose water? So we have what's called sensible and insensible losses. So if you think about senses, things that you can feel, these are sensible losses. So for example, urination, when you pee, you feel the water coming out. When you sweat, you feel the water and the dripping on your face and your body. Defecation. So when you gonna take a number two and go poop, you feel, the poop coming out. So, and then finally, when you vomit, you also feel that as well. So, these are all ways that we lose water that we can feel. All of these ways may not be the most fun ways to lose water, but they are ways that we do lose water. And then finally, you have what's called insensible losses, maybe um, ways that we don't really sense that we lose it or we don't often think about it. So, this is like respiration. So, if you're ever out on in a cold morning and you're breathing and you see like, you can see your breath. Well, that's condensation. So you're seeing the loss of water. So as you breathe, as you talk, sometimes people spit a little bit. Sometimes, we lose it when we breathe. So those are insensible losses, things that we don't always think about, but they are ways that we do lose water. Maybe not as big as the other ways, but they are ways. So, with water being the thing to keep you hydrated, it's also important to talk about dehydration. Now, dehydration is simply not getting enough water. And oftentimes, what happens is if you were dehydrated, you can become very irritable. Some signs of it are that you can become irritable. Also, not urinating or having really dark yellow urine. So, if you pee in the toilet and you look down and you see, like, oh my lord, my pee's looking kind of dark yellow, probably dehydrated, and you probably need to make sure that you are drinking more water. We also have headache, and this is another one because those brain cells up there, you especially hear this like a lot with alcohol, which we'll mention more in a second. But with alcohol, you hear a lot about people saying that, oh, they have a hangover if they've had a long night of drinking, and they often have like a headache the next day. And the reason is because alcohol actually is a diuretic and makes you urinate more and will actually cause a loss of water in your cells. So a lot of those cells in your head, So when you so you have a headache because your brain cells lost a little bit of water. So it's making sure that you drink and get those cells filled back up. So a lot of times, if you don't drink a lot of water, you will have headaches, and that's with or without alcohol involved. And then next we have dry skin, which water is, once again, it's responsible for hydrating your body, skin being part of that. And finally, lower back pain, because in some cases that's where your kidneys located. And your kidneys do use a lot of water. And if your kidneys don't have enough water to flush out and do their job, it can cause a lot of pain back there. And then also making mention of the diuretic. So this is a substance that you consume that makes you urinate more, which can lead to hydration, or correction, dehydration. So once again, caffeine and alcohol are notorious. So caffeine, so a lot of sodas, a lot of energy drinks. When you have those types of drinks, once again, these are diuretics and they will make you pee a lot more. And then alcohol is also one that we mentioned earlier. So one of the big rules of thumb that I often take into consideration is, for example, if you drink a lot of soda, make sure that you are consuming at least 1 to 2 times the amount of water per soda that you drink. So if you drink a soda at school during lunch, make sure that throughout the rest of the day or when you go home that you're drinking some water. I know I'm a notorious teacher for soda drinkers. You look in my recycling bin, if y'all were at school, y'all would see a ton of soda bottles, but you will also see that I carry alkaline water with me in large quantities. So, on top of that, you'll see that I also not contain, but also carry a lot of water with me to offset that. I feel like it's very important to practice what you preach. So, how much should be taken in? So, for males, typically they're saying 3 cups a day, around 3 liters. For females, 9 cups a day, which is a little more than 2 liters. That's a lot of water. And ultimately, the big thing is that we are all different, and that it all depends. Now, am I saying you need to go out and start guzzling a bunch of water? Absolutely not, because in some cases, drinking too much water within a short amount of time can be extremely bad. There is such thing as water intoxication, where people can get extremely sick and develop what is called hyponatremia. So this is where water fills up and swells in your cells, and lowers the salt level content of your blood in your body. And while salt gets a really bad rap from the medical community and can get a really bad rep, in diet culture and all this other kind of stuff and exercise and everything. Salt is very important to the body because, it is a mineral that we use. We It helps with regulation within our equilibrium levels, as well as thinking about from the standpoint of our electrolytes. So, it's very important that we have electrolytes in our body. And if you think about it, if we have too much water, that's going to throw our electrolyte levels out of balance, out of whack, and then that will cause us to feel cruddy. So we have EAHN, which stands for exercise associated hyponatremia. So this is where we see a decrease in sodium levels after prolonged amount of exercise. So a lot of times you hear in, you hear in like athletics or anything of that nature where everybody is saying, you're working out, consume, 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 constantly consume water. Oh, well, I'm not thirsty. Well, guess what? Drink anyway. And in some cases, that can lead to what is called EAHN, where when you exercise, your body while you're sweating also wants to conserve water as well, because your body isn't most of the time wanting to use the restroom during exercise, isn't wanting to go number one or number two during exercise. So the thing is when you see that your body is holding on to water a lot more, obviously throughout the absence of sweat, but when your body is holding on to the water in the other sensible losses, that you are seeing that you're constantly consuming water, people are telling you to consume, and then once again, you're going to see that exercise associated hyponatremia. In some cases, for example, there are people who have, gotten really sick through water intoxication because they consumed a lot of water during exercise, more so than they could sweat out. And obviously, because exercise kind of, in a way, shuts off your body's need to use the restroom, they got really sick in that process. So, once again, it's making sure that you're paying attention to your body, drinking when you are thirsty, drinking when your body craves the water during physical activity. Now, am I saying that you're going to have to go out and have have an argument with your coaches about this? Absolutely not, because coaches are paid, money to make sure that you guys are staying safe and that you are doing physical activity in the proper manner. So, obviously, I know coaches aren't going to sit there and have y'all consume so much water to put you guys into this state. In fact, it is actually extremely rare, but it is one of the things that I want you guys to keep in mind. So for your assignment today, that is going to conclude your notes. But this is your water PSA assignment. So on your own or with a partner, so if you have friends who you can work with through the class or through virtual, you can obviously do this. But you are going to create a video or a flyer that focuses around the promotion of water and healthy water consumption. I'm going to be grading this extremely liberally. All right. So this video must be between 1 to 3 minutes, or the flyer must contain color. All right. I am looking for an actual flyer, not just some words typed on a Word document. I want to see color. I want to see big, bold pictures. I want to see big bullet points. In other words, if you're doing the flyer, if we were to post this up on the hallway, even if it was an 8 by 10 piece of paper, if we were to put this up in the hallway, I wanted to make sure that it captures attention. So you can do this with Word document, PowerPoint. You can even do it with marker and paper. So just the basic criteria. And like I said, I'm being very liberal with this. So I'm giving you guys free creative reign. This must present or promote healthy water consumption. So at the end of the day, this must be a promotion of making sure that someone is consuming water properly and healthfully. It must be bold about consuming water. So it must be, in your face, legitimate, like this is why water consumption is important. This is why we have our notes, so that way you guys can reference it. And then you must have 3 reasons, at least 3 reasons why water consumption is important or why overconsumption may be bad. So, you have plenty of reasons why water consumption is important in your notes. Obviously, we talked about hyponatremia, so you can look into other reasons why consuming too much water may be a bad thing. So you can do this either in video format. So you can make a video of you talking about it and being like, hey, this is Mr. Hunia, and I want to tell you about 3 reasons why water consumption is important, because water consumption is something that we should all be concerned about. Then list out your 3 reasons and be like, that is the reason, those are my 3 reasons why water consumption is important. I hope you'll consume more water in the future and make sure you're taking care of yourself. Welcome to my TED Talk. You can do that, or you can make a flyer where it's big, bold, has pictures of water, maybe has pictures of someone who maybe has gone through hyponatremia, anything of that nature. Like I said, I'm grading this extremely liberal. So as long as you do this, you have 2 days to get it done, you will receive a good grade. But that is all I have for today. So you guys can go ahead, get this knocked out, turn in your notes, and I will see y'all tomorrow.